Oh hey, my name's Taffy, and I'm a big fan of games, particularly the platformer genre, and particularly old graphics. Hence why I look like I was given birth to by a Sega Dreamcast. But I've come to realize something recently. The Mario franchise is one of the most well-known in the entire world, and last year the Mario movie made over $1 billion in box office sales. So why hasn't Nintendo released another Mario cartoon series since 1991? Well, we're going to go into that right now, and I'm also going to explain why they should make a new cartoon for Mario. And enough yapping, let's go. The Super Mario Bros. Super Show is the first installment of the 3 Mario animated series. It's a kind of hybrid show which splits between the animated adventures of the Mario Bros. And these funny live action segments. The show came out around just after the golden era of Saturday morning cartoons, which meant this show has a lot of 80s influence. Also hence why live action Super Mario has a live action Super Mullet. This also was the time before Mario and Luigi's overall colours were flipped to dead and blue. So my brain is having a hard time to look at these two right now. But this show is honestly lots and lots of fun. It's one of the first times we truly get to see the characterization for Mario and Luigi. Mario being a short stick of dynamite, always ready for action, and whilst Luigi might be a clumsy coward, he's ready to join the fight if his friends are in trouble. You also see other classic Mario Kart members such as Toad, Princess Toadstool, aka Peach, Bowser, Joseph, Cody, Chef Pee-Pee, Jeff— wait a minute, I think this is the wrong cast list. But yeah, it's an amazing time. The plots are pretty simple and episodical, and for what the show was, I think it did a great job. And the animated segments are actually really good if you ask me. I mean, for a Saturday morning cartoon budget in the 80s, it's pretty impressive. I wonder how they could afford it. Anyways, the show isn't super cheap or even really that cheesy. The live action segments are okay, but they weren't really to my taste, not gonna lie, since they kind of just portray Mario and Luigi as bumbling idiots. Whereas the cartoon versions of themselves have much more to them than just being, you know, the facts from the bear. I mean, I say this like I'm the target demographic, when in reality I'm a guy on the internet talking about a kid's cartoon from 1989 while sitting in my room. But other than that, the first episode actually made me laugh quite a bit, but then some of it was just straight up weird, how like Bowser asks his snow minions to lick his feet. But one thing I have to mention is the amazing soundtrack. There are so many songs that they use from the games, which we get to see in a decompressed format, and I'm telling you, these tunes are certified hood classics. But there are things from the show that do age poorly, such as Peach and Bowser's designs. Peach is still ginger here, and then Bowser is just a variety of different shades of green with some yellow thrown in here and there. He's also called King Koopa the entire time, which is also quite distracting. I haven't seen every episode of the show, so I don't know if they eventually start calling him Bowser or not, but if they do, yeah, just let me know in the comments. And it doesn't help that there's lots of spaghetti and pasta jokes in the show as well, because if you weren't aware, the Mario Bros are Italians. But if these spaghetti jokes were actually pretty funny, then maybe I'd be less opposed to them, but they're just lazy and didn't crack a smile out of me. Like the other well-written bits, visual gags, or even the voice acting. Especially Mario and Luigi's Brooklyn accents, which is just hilarious.
Come on, princess! You can do it too!
Pasta power!
That shit is crazy. I really don't like that.
I now kind of see what Chris Pratt was going for in the movie, but I don't think he did it justice. At all. Now speaking of the movie, if you weren't aware, although critics tried their hardest to make this movie seem mid or not worth the proper praise, it did stupid good. I mean, it made over $1 billion in box office sales.
Our name is the Super Billionaire Bros.
Because of this movie's success, I don't know if I expect Nintendo to try and make an animated series for Mario, whilst they can just pour their money into making a successful film franchise, which this movie clearly is capable of starting, as it's pretty much an origin story of how Mario and Luigi became acquainted with the Mushroom Kingdom. And let's not forget the abundance of games, characters, and locations for the movies to explore. But here's the thing, Nickelodeon also released a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie the same year as the Mario movie, and they had also announced that they're going to produce a cartoon series that will work in tandem with the movie, which is actually out right now. I'm gonna watch after I'm finished with this video. And also Paramount did the same thing with the Knuckles spin-off series they made, which is in the same universe as the Sonic movies. So it wouldn't be a terrible idea for Nintendo to do this as well, but if they are planning on doing this, they need to make sure that the film's crew and the cartoon's crew are in communication, so that when watching these different products, they all make sense together and don't get the personalities of the characters wrong. And mainly so they just don't confuse people. This isn't just a problem when creating spin-off shows and such, but mainly with formats like comic books. Comics are notorious for stuff like this due to having different writing teams. I mean, if you want an example, you can just read the Amazing Spider-Man comics or the Sonic comics, for example. And I doubt the exact same production team would be capable of producing an animated series alongside a $100 million animated movie at the same time. I'm not saying it's unrealistic, but I am saying that it's quite a lot to be expected of the team. So just make sure the two teams are in communication and that they know what each other are up to. I understand it's easier said than done, but it's pretty important in making a good product, not just in animation but in any team-based project. Anyways, I can't really think of a smooth way to transition into the next chapter, so I'm just gonna say it. How the f does Sonic have so many cartoons?
Sure, I'm going 2 for 2. Coming up quick, ain't you check the news? Life too good, I don't got no blues.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1993, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 1996, Sonic Underground, Sonic X, Sonic Boom, Sonic Mania Adventures, Sonic Prime, and there's even more Sonic the Hedgehog animated OVA style short films that tie into the games. Now for a video game character, this Hedgehog has been a pretty successful TV star, and don't get me started with the comics. But the thing is, Mario and Sonic are kind of just polar opposites in this sense, because Sonic's cartoon and comic appearances are kind of where the character thrives. I already made a video about the rocky history with the mainline Sonic games, but in animation and comics, this is probably where the Sonic casts have been characterized best, probably due to the allowance for long-term storytelling without lots of time gaps and such. I'm not saying all the Sonic shows are gems, but I'm saying that they are a massive staple of the character, even Sonic Boom, which although the attempt at rejuvenating the franchise was technically a failure, it is pretty funny to watch, so I'll give them that. Now of course, just because Mario is lacking a TV show, that doesn't mean that there isn't any lore or storylines going on in the games. But I do think that the fact that the last Mario show we got having ended in the 90s does mean that there is a lot of stuff missing from the current canon, such as new characters, locations, and even developments for certain characters as well. But what if I told you that there was a fan-made Mario series which is somewhat up to date with the current Mario lore that might satisfy your thirst for a Mario series? Only that it's not exactly what you think it is. SML, the controversial puppet show which gained popularity due to its funny adult humor, which some could perceive as juvenile, actually started out as a web show with plushies using the Mario cast, under the name Super Mario Logan. I'm not going to go into detail about SML after the rebrand because we're talking about Mario here, but I do want to say that the current state of SML is actually amazing. It's a great show, love watching every video. If Logan or any of the crew are watching this, I love your shits, man. It's amazing. The channel was started by Logan 30acre and his brother Lance, who would make these plushie videos as kids and eventually gained popularity when they started the series Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventures, which more or less followed the Mario storyline. However, the brothers would put their own spin to it. The series at the time was moderately successful to the brothers at first, but gained a lot of traction when they introduced the character of Mama Luigi. This character was actually developed from a YTP that was made from a clip from the Super Mario Bros. Super Show series.
Mama? Mama Luigi?
Ha! How do you like that cyclical structure right there? Shout out to all my English teachers. But yeah, the character was essentially a mentally challenged clone of Luigi. The character was extremely popular, but when Logan's friend who voiced Mama Luigi had to move away, they killed him off. SML eventually became more of its own thing, and gained a more original premise, with more original characters, and the existing Mario cast having more original personalities that Logan and his crew created to suit the show, such as Mario having anger issues, constantly finding ways to avoid paying his house payment, and having an adopted son, Bowser being a lazy deadbeat dad to his needy son, Bowser Jr., whilst also having a stay-at-home chef, who basically raises the boy for him. But eventually the show got so big that Nintendo eventually had to send a letter threatening to sue Logan unless he stops using Nintendo characters for his SML videos. And this was mostly because of the adult humor used in this content, which also caused many other controversies. The reason why I brought up Logan is because I think that if Nintendo made a Super Mario cartoon, Logan would do a great job as a guest writer, because from what I've seen in his vlogs, he's still a big Mario fan even after the lawsuit threats, and he still finds ways to show his interest without including Nintendo's iconography or characters in his videos. But I have a feeling that Nintendo wants nothing to do with Logan due to some bad press that he got for a video he made back in 2017, which if you know, you know. But I don't know, I think it would be nice. Nintendo, give him a chance. But for the ideal showrunner of a Mario cartoon, I think that the perfect pick would be Parker Simmons. Parker Simmons is an animator who's worked for both Cartoon Network and Nintendo. He created the series Mao Mao Heroes of Pure Heart in 2019, which unfortunately lasted only one season, due to reasons that Simmons hasn't made explicitly clear. However, my speculation is that it was cancelled as a part of the HBO Max purge. But not only is Mao Mao a great comedy cartoon, but it's also super action-packed and is overall just a great show, as he makes a lot of animations based on the Mario cast and other Nintendo characters such as Star Fox and Link. He's also made small commissions for Nintendo too, so he has some sort of connection with them. I know I technically have no say in who Nintendo hire to lead the production of a Mario cartoon, let alone have the influence for them to consider making one. But I know that with enough voices, it could lead to them at least acknowledging the idea. So if this video does well, I would love for you guys to just go crazy and spread the word of the idea that, hey, if Nintendo made a new cartoon about Mario, put in a good word for Parker, because I love his work and I think he'd do an excellent job making a Mario cartoon. But hey, for whatever reason you may not want to hire Parker, hire me. I'll do it for $3.99. But yeah, it's been me, Taffy, talking about Nintendo again. Shout out Reggie Feels Aim, and see you in the next one.